Welcome back, guys, to this channel that's all about architecture, engineering, and construction, and where we also are all about bettering the African narrative. So remember, in the last few weeks, we started a journey of documenting the construction of a 3-bedroom house. If you missed that video, the very first episode, please, I'll leave the link in the description so that after here you can go and watch it, because following on from here you might not really understand the different considerations that we actually made. So now we are going to be discussing the progress of the project and the different considerations we've been making here and there. And also later on, we'll be talking about the costs that we'll have incurred at every stage of the construction. So when the foundation is done, we're definitely going to be sharing the costs of the things we've incurred to that level for that house specifically. Otherwise, guys, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. And also say in the comments what you think about it, because I believe this is really going to be an interesting journey up to completion of this house. Okay, without wasting a lot of your time, let's head to the site. Remember, we started a journey where we're going to be documenting the construction of a 3-bedroom storied house. Okay, it's quite a tiny house, but I think in the previous video I took you through the different rooms of the house, the design of the house, and the different considerations that we actually made with regard to the architecture of the house. Okay, so today I'm on site. It's a bit not very noisy because the boys have gone for lunch, as you can see them. Okay, so we are on the site. So along this journey, I'm going to be discussing with you different things, the different considerations that we actually consider when we are going through the actual construction process. Okay, so all that being said, we are going to be discussing costs as well, the different materials we've chosen, whether we are cutting costs or where we are not actually compromising the cost of anything. Okay, so now that I'm on site, I would like to take you through the different things that people actually need to consider when they are constructing their houses. One of those main things, sometimes we come here, sometimes we do calculations and we make the bills of quantities, and we make certain assumptions. Okay, so there are certain assumptions that we make that might not actually be so. Okay, now the very first thing is that we assume that we have a place where to store the materials on site. And now with regards to the storage of materials, there are different options that you can actually consider. One is to actually have a storehouse. Okay, if you have a storehouse on site, so that so that when the materials come, they can be put in the storehouse. So you literally set up something like a temporary structure, usually made from timber and poles, or you can put a structure that is made from poles and also using iron sheets. So in that structure, you can actually store there your materials that come on site, because sometimes it can really be costly to just be ferrying materials every day from the hardwares actually to the site. It can be quite expensive because you'll literally be incurring transport expenses every single day. Okay, so it's much safer to just have your materials, at least the ones that are required for probably the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks on site, or even the next 1 month on site, so that you cut down on those expenses of transporting materials. Okay, now in that scenario, that being said, in that scenario, you can see we do not have any storehouse on the site. Okay, this is because we struck a deal with our neighbor up on the other side, where we can store our materials. So our materials are safe up there in the gate. Okay, that is where we are storing in the materials. So you can see it's very close to the site. So when the workers need to bring the materials, they literally bring the materials that they will need for that day. Then also, you might also need to consider a place where the construction team is actually going to camp, because you realize that some of the workers who are working there, it might be quite expensive for them to commute from home to the workplace. Okay, because they need to start as early as 7:30, as early as 8, as early as 6:30 sometimes. So it's best for them to actually camp on site so they can do their work comfortably and also save some money and also earn a living. Okay, now in that scenario, we rented a small house up on the other side, okay, where the workers can stay for about 2, 3 months, 4 months, depending on how the material is coming in. Okay, so we can have the material stored there on that upper side. So we can have the workers stay on that up. We can have workers stay close enough to site so that they can actually do their construction really very comfortably. Now, in a scenario where that is not, sometimes when you are building like a storehouse for materials, you can put a separate partition, okay, where these where the workers can sleep and then material stored on the other side. I think that also improves on the security of your materials because they are being watched over. Okay, of course all these things really depend on the contract that you have with the contractor. Okay, whether the contractor is the one buying the materials or you are buying the materials and the contractor is providing only labor and probably machinery and equipment. Okay, so for starters, there are things that are a must to have in place before you can even think of any construction, and that is having the actual the architecture drawings and the structure drawings at least all on site. I have seen people that begin to build without plans and things really go south during the construction, and then they have to hire an architect where things have already gone wrong and there is literally not much that the architect can do, or it might be quite costly for the client when the architect is charging to correct the things that actually went wrong on the construction. So having said all that, we have all our for this project specifically, we already have all our construction plans. As you can see here, you can see these are approved architecture drawings. Okay, I'll cover the name of the client and then show you the rest of it so you can see. We have all the required stamps for approval. We have the stamp of the architect, we have the stamp of the municipal council, the secretary, we have the stamp of the health inspector, and we have the stamp of the physical planner as well. Okay, then this is the municipal engineer. So literally we have all the approved plans for this project specifically. So if you have all the plans and they are not still approved, you'll get a lot of disturbance from the municipal council. And then we also have a letter from the municipality. I'll still cover the name of the client. Okay, we have a letter that is allowing us to proceed with the construction. Okay, so so that's it. So literally, when you're going to if you want to start your construction and you don't want to be disturbed by anyone, by the municipality, it is important to have all your drawings ready. It's also important to have the mechanical drawings, the electrical drawings, and the plumbing drawings. Okay, now the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing drawings are also very, very important to have. Okay, so for reasons that I've explained before on these channels, the issue of aggregates is really, really sensitive. Okay, we have this kind of aggregates and we also have that kind of aggregates. Okay, now the difference between these two is these ones are 1/2 inch and these ones are 3/4 inch aggregates. Okay, now there are different functions for them there are different functions for which you can use them suitably. Now these ones right here that you can see here, we mainly use them, they are actually hand crushed, and we mainly use them in casting the oversight concrete and also in the foundation. Of course the other ones, as you can see, really give much more strength because they have a better bonding capacity with the cement and with the sand. Okay, these ones are a bit low on that, but they are really okay. You just need to make sure that they are clean enough. Now if the aggregates are not clean, it means they're not actually going to bond with the cement and you're going to compromise on the strength of those structure elements where you're using them. Or rather, you'll actually have to have bigger structure elements, for example bigger columns and bigger beams, for you to achieve the strength that you actually want. Okay, I hope that is understood. Then we have a sinotrack of sand over there, if you are able to see it. Okay, we have a sinotrack of sand here. Now I've explained before the importance of buying things in large bulk. Okay, if you're buying these small forwards, you're probably not saving much, but if you buy a sinotrack, you'll literally be getting an extra about 2 to 3 forwards on every sinotrack. Okay, so I think you're better off saving, but of course if you're building in phases, you definitely have to use the forwards. So now touring the project, as you can see. Okay, we already completed the setting out. This is going to be the frontage of the house, the front compound. If you didn't watch the video where we explained the whole design and the different considerations, please go back and watch it. Okay, so with how far we've gone, we've so far done the casting of some footings. Some are cast, some are not yet cast. Okay, you might also be keen to notice that we are actually using 6 Y12s. Okay, now this is purely based on design, so if you are an engineer there or you are planning to build, don't copy and paste. Okay, this is actually a decision that is based on design. Okay, we had two options where we could use 4 Y16s or using 6 Y12s. Okay, now the difference is actually in the costing. Okay, when you do the math of having 6 Y12s and also having 4 Y16s with the current prices of things, you realize you're actually spending less on this. Okay, although structurally you'll have those, structurally when you do structural calculations you realize that for the building we have, these are actually going to be enough for carrying the 2 floors that we have. Okay, that is very important. Okay, this is purely based on design, don't copy and paste. Okay, consult your structure engineer and let him recommend as he has designed the structure to carry the loads. Okay, so having said all that, I think this is it. After this we'll be doing the plinth walls, and I will definitely be taking you through the costs of literally everything that we have incurred. Also, sorry, I had forgotten to talk about the source of water. Okay, if you notice here, there is a well that we have here. Of course, it's not yet really finished, but it's important to have a source of water on site. Now, where we are, it was actually becoming quite expensive for us to bring national water, so we had to open for me. So we had to dig this well where we can actually be getting water from during the construction and after the construction. Of course, we've not yet done the finishing of it. You can see it's still a bit shoddy. Okay, it's no worry. We are going to do some good finishing of it, and then we will be able to use it even after the construction has been completed. Okay, that is very important. So having said all that, I think that's it for now. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, thank you for following. I hope there was something for you to learn, and please keep following this journey as we build this 3-bedroom house. I believe that you actually love it. Okay, otherwise, thank you very much guys, and have a good time.